Chapter 1: Introduction to Phrases. Hi, I am Ariel, and today I am going to talk about something exciting and very useful for learning English: phrases. You might be wondering, what exactly is a phrase and why should I care about it? Let's dive in together, and I promise that by the end of this chapter, you'll see how phrases can make English much easier and more enjoyable for you. What is a phrase? Let's start with a simple definition. A phrase is a small group of words that work together as a single unit. Unlike a sentence, a phrase doesn't need a complete thought to make sense. Imagine a phrase as a group of friends walking together. Each word in the phrase plays its own role to help express an idea. Think about this example. In the park. This phrase doesn't tell us the full story like a sentence does, but it gives us an idea of where something is happening. Phrases are like puzzle pieces. They help build bigger pictures in English. Why are phrases important? Phrases are essential because they are everywhere in English. They make sentences clearer and more detailed. Learning different types of phrases will help you sound more natural and confident when you speak. As Samuel Johnson once said, "Language is the dress of thought." The phrases we use dress our ideas, giving them style, color, and clarity. Imagine how boring language would be if we only used single words. By using phrases, we can describe things in a more exciting way. Types of phrases. There are several types of phrases, each with its own purpose. Over the next few chapters, we will explore each type: noun phrases, verb phrases, adjective phrases, adverb phrases, prepositional phrases, infinitive phrases, gerund phrases. Each of these phrases has a specific job in a sentence, just like how each person has their role in a team. By learning these phrases, you'll be building a stronger foundation in English. Examples to keep you curious. Let's look at a few examples of phrases to spark your interest. Noun. Phrase, the beautiful sunset. Here, the beautiful sunset acts as a single idea focused on the noun sunset. Verb, phrase, is running fast. This phrase adds action and tells us more about what someone is doing. Prepositional phrase, on the table. We get a clearer idea of where something is. These simple phrases help create images and action in our minds, adding meaning without needing a full sentence. Let's practice together. As we go through each type, I encourage you to think of your examples. Phrases are everywhere, and you'll see them in books, conversations, and even movies. If you want to practice even more, check out thestoryspeak.online, where I have some helpful videos and exercises just for you. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Why do you think learning phrases could help you in English? Share a phrase you know in the comments, and let's learn together. Chapter 2: Noun phrases. Welcome to Chapter 2. Now that we have a basic understanding of phrases, it's time to dive into one of the most common types: noun phrases. These phrases are incredibly helpful for describing people, places, things, or ideas in more detail. Ready? Let's get started. What is a noun phrase? A noun phrase is a group of words centered around a noun. This noun is the main word, but it often comes with extra words to make the meaning clearer and more interesting. Think of it like dressing up a noun to make it more stylish and specific. For example, the bright morning sun. Here, morning sun is the noun phrase, and the words the bright give it more color and detail. This phrase is helpful because it gives a richer picture in your mind. Instead of just sun, we get the bright morning sun, which feels more vivid and descriptive. Why use noun phrases? Using noun phrases allows you to say more without making your sentences too long. They make your speech and writing clearer and more interesting, helping listeners or readers picture what you're talking about. Consider the phrase, a beautiful garden. If you just say garden, that's fine, but when you add a beautiful before it, the phrase suddenly feels more lively and appealing. Famous English writer Mark Twain once said, "The difference between the almost right word and the right word is really a large matter." Noun phrases help you find that right word to express your idea in the best way. Structure of a noun phrase. Most noun phrases have a simple structure. The main noun, the person, place, or thing you're talking about. Modifiers. These are words that give extra detail about the noun. For example, the big red apple. Main noun. Apple modifiers. The big red modifiers help answer questions like which one or what kind. They help make your noun more specific, making the phrase stronger and more effective. Examples of noun phrases in everyday English. Here are some common noun phrases that you might hear or use daily. A cold glass of water. Instead of just saying water, this phrase gives more detail. The old wooden chair adds a sense of age and material to a simple chair. A quick morning walk makes walk sound refreshing and purposeful. Do you see how each phrase adds a little extra to the noun? That's the power of noun phrases. They're everywhere, from simple sentences to complex descriptions in stories. Practice with noun phrases. Let's try creating some noun phrases together. Here are some nouns, and I'll show you how to expand them. Book. An interesting old book. Teacher. A helpful English teacher. Tree. The tall oak tree. Now think of some nouns and add words around them to make noun phrases. You can try this with anything you see around you, like car, room, or flower. If you need more help, visit my website, thestoryspeak.online, where I have examples and exercises to make this easier. Using noun phrases to make sentences better. Let's look at two sentences. Notice how adding a noun phrase makes a difference. Simple sentence, I saw a bird. With noun. Phrase, I saw a small, colorful bird. In the second sentence, you get a clearer picture of what the bird looked like, making the description more engaging and precise. Adding detail to language is a key to making it powerful. As Ernest Hemingway, a famous writer, said, "The most essential gift for a good writer is a built-in, shock-proof ESH detector." This means that adding the right details, like using noun phrases, makes language more honest and effective. By learning how to use noun phrases, you're already taking a big step in making your English more impactful and descriptive. Here's a fun activity for you. In the comments, try sharing a noun phrase of your own. Choose any noun and add some words around it to make it more descriptive. I'd love to see what you come up with, and other learners can get inspiration from your phrases too. Chapter 3. Verb Phrases. Welcome back. In this chapter, we'll explore a type of phrase that adds action and energy to our sentences. Verb phrases. Verb phrases are essential for describing actions and giving life to your thoughts. Let's dive in and see how verb phrases can make your English sound more natural and lively. What is a verb phrase? A verb phrase is a group of words that includes a main verb and can also have helping verbs, like is, was, has, will, etc. The main verb shows the action, while the helping verbs give extra information, such as when the action happened or who performed it. For example, is running quickly. Here, running is the main verb, while is a helping verb. Together, they create a verb phrase that tells us someone is currently running. Think of a verb phrase as the engine of a sentence. It moves the idea forward and makes it dynamic. Why are verb phrases important? Verb phrases help us express actions, emotions, and states of being more clearly. They add depth to our sentences by allowing us to describe not just what happens, but how and when it happens. Without verb phrases, sentences would feel static and lifeless. Imagine these examples. I am learning English. Here, the verb phrase am learning shows that the action is ongoing. She has finished her homework. Has finished tells us that the action is complete. As George Orwell said, if thought corrupts language, language can also corrupt thought. Choosing the right words and phrases helps communicate our thoughts accurately and powerfully. Structure of a verb. Phrase. A typical verb phrase has helping verbs. These are optional but often included to show time, mood, or possibility. Main verb, the core action or state of the phrase. For example, will be studying. Helping verbs, will be. Main verb, studying. Adding helping verbs changes the meaning and depth of the main action. Let's see a few variations to understand this better. Examples of verb phrases in everyday English. Here are some verb phrases you might come across. Is going to school. Going is the main verb, and is tells us it's happening now. Has been waiting patiently. Has been tells us the waiting started in the past and is ongoing. Will visit soon. Will shows future action, and visit is the action. Each verb phrase adds clarity and allows us to understand the timing and nature of actions better. Creating verb phrases together. Let's take a simple main verb, like run, and expand it using different helping verbs to see how the meaning changes. Is running, happening right now. Was running, happened in the past. Will be running, will happen in the future. Now try this with other verbs, like eat, write, or study. You'll notice how the addition of helping verbs can change the meaning of the main action completely. For more practice, You can check out examples on thestoryspeak.online. Making sentences more interesting with verb phrases. Let's compare two sentences and see the difference a verb phrase makes. Simple sentence, she runs. With verb phrase, she is running quickly. The verb phrase is running quickly gives us a clearer, more dynamic picture, making the sentence sound more interesting and complete. Actions are essential for communication, and verb phrases help us express those actions. As the famous playwright William Shakespeare said, "Action is eloquence." By choosing the right verb phrases, we add clarity and passion to our thoughts, making our communication effective. Try coming up with your own verb phrase in the comments. Think of any action like swim or sing and add helping verbs to create a verb phrase. I can't wait to see the creative phrases you come up with. Chapter 4. Adjective Phrases. Welcome to Chapter 4. We've talked about noun phrases and verb phrases, and now it's time to explore adjective phrases. Adjective phrases help us make descriptions richer and more vivid. They allow us to add color and detail to nouns, making our sentences more engaging and memorable. So, let's dive in and discover the beauty of adjective phrases. What is an adjective phrase? An adjective phrase is a group of words centered around an adjective, giving extra information about a noun. Instead of using just a single word, like happy, an adjective phrase gives a fuller description, such as very happy with the result. Here, very happy with the result tells us a lot more than just happy. Imagine that you're painting a picture with words. Using an adjective phrase is like adding layers of color to make the picture brighter and clearer. Why use adjective phrases? Adjective phrases make your language more descriptive, helping others picture what you're talking about. When you describe a person, place, or thing with an adjective phrase, it feels more detailed and expressive. For instance, a tall building. This is a simple description. A surprisingly tall building with shiny glass walls. Here, the adjective phrase, surprisingly tall with shiny glass walls, gives a vivid image of the building. As the famous poet Robert Frost said, "Poetry is when an emotion has found its thought, and the thought has found words." Adjective phrases help you find the right words to express your thoughts and emotions more accurately. Structure of an adjective phrase. An adjective phrase typically includes an adjective, the main describing word, modifiers, words like very, extremely, or quite, that make the adjective stronger or more specific. Additional words. These can be prepositional phrases or nouns that give more detail. For example, extremely grateful for the help. Adjective, grateful modifier, extremely additional detail, for the help. Examples of adjective phrases in everyday English. Here are some common examples of adjective phrases that you might hear or use in daily life. Really excited about the trip. Instead of just saying excited, the phrase adds more detail. Completely happy with the results. This adjective phrase gives us a clearer picture of the level of happiness. Full of energy and excitement. This phrase describes someone's personality or mood in a lively way. Each adjective phrase allows us to add layers of meaning, helping others understand the description better. Creating adjective phrases. Together. Let's try turning simple adjectives into adjective phrases. Here are some examples. Smart, incredibly smart with numbers. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful with long curly hair. Calm, surprisingly calm under pressure. Now, think of some adjectives you use often and try adding modifiers or additional words to create your own adjective phrases. This exercise will make your descriptions more precise and interesting. If you want more examples, you can visit thestoryspeak.online for helpful videos and exercises on adjective phrases. Adding adjective phrases to sentences. Let's compare two sentences to see how adjective phrases enhance descriptions. Simple sentence: she is confident. With adjective phrase, she is highly confident in her abilities. The adjective phrase, highly confident in her abilities, adds depth to the description, showing not just that she is confident, but the extent and reason for her confidence. Using descriptive language is powerful in communication. American writer F. Scott Fitzgerald once said, "You don't write because you want to say something. You write because you have something to say." When you add adjective phrases to your descriptions, you say more with fewer words, helping others see your ideas more clearly. Your turn to comment. Now it's your turn. In the comments, try sharing an adjective phrase that describes someone or something in your life. It could be about a friend, family member, or even a favorite object. For example, very caring and thoughtful with friends. Your examples will help inspire others. Chapter 5. Adverb phrases. Welcome to Chapter 5. We've explored phrases that describe nouns and add detail to verbs. Now let's dive into adverb phrases. Adverb phrases help us give extra information about actions, making sentences clearer, more interesting, and more specific. So, let's explore how adverb phrases work and see how they can add life to your sentences. What is an adverb phrase? An adverb phrase is a group of words that acts as an adverb, providing more detail about a verb, adjective, or even another adverb. Adverb phrases can explain how, when, where, or why something happens, helping to paint a fuller picture of the action. For example, with great care. This adverb phrase tells us how something was done. In the morning, this phrase tells us when something happened. Adverb phrases are like spices in a recipe. They add extra flavor, making sentences more enjoyable and descriptive. Why are adverb phrases important? Using adverb phrases can make your sentences more informative and engaging. They let you answer questions like, "How did it happen?" or "Where did it take place?" which makes the meaning much clearer for your listener or reader. For instance, he spoke clearly. This sentence is simple and direct. He spoke with a calm and gentle voice. Now, we understand how he spoke, making the sentence richer in meaning. As Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "The only way to have a friend is to be one." Similarly, The only way to make language clear and impactful is by using details, like those provided by adverb phrases, to express ideas effectively. Structure of an adverb phrase. An adverb phrase often contains an adverb, the main describing word, additional words. These can include prepositions or other modifiers that give more context. For example, very quickly indeed. Adverb, quickly. Modifier, very additional. Word, indeed. Together, these words work as an adverb phrase that tells us exactly how something happens. Examples of adverb phrases in everyday English. Here are some examples of adverb phrases you might come across daily. With excitement and joy, describes how someone feels or acts. In the middle of the night, explains when something occurred. Across the busy street, tells us where something happened. Each of these phrases adds a layer of meaning, helping us understand actions more fully. Creating adverb phrases. Together. Let's try expanding simple adverbs into adverb phrases. Here's how you can take a single word and make it more descriptive. Quickly. With impressive speed, carefully. With great attention to detail. Happily. With a big smile on her face. By adding details to these simple words, we create adverb phrases that bring more color and emotion to the action. Try it with adverbs you know, like quietly, sadly, or eagerly. If you want to see more examples or practice, check out thestoryspeak.online, where I've shared resources on adverb phrases and other language skills. Making sentences better with adverb phrases. Let's compare two sentences to see how an adverb phrase can make a difference. Simple sentence. She danced. With adverb phrase, she danced with energy and grace. The adverb phrase with energy and grace transforms a simple action into a lively image, allowing the listener to visualize how she danced. Adding detail to language is like adding layers to a painting. As Mark Twain said, the difference between the almost right word and the right word is really a large matter. By choosing the right words in adverb phrases, you can describe actions with precision and clarity, making your communication more powerful. Your turn to comment. Let's put your skills to the test. In the comments, try creating your own adverb phrase. Start with a simple adverb, like softly or quickly, and add words around it to create an adverb phrase. For example, with a gentle touch, or at an impressive pace. Share your phrases, and let's inspire each other with creative language. Chapter 6. Prepositional Phrases. Welcome to Chapter 6. So far, we've covered phrases that bring depth to nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Now it's time to talk about prepositional phrases. These phrases help us understand the where, when, and how of actions and descriptions. Prepositional phrases are everywhere, and once you understand how to use them, your English will become more precise and descriptive. What is a prepositional phrase? A prepositional phrase begins with a preposition and usually ends with a noun or pronoun. The words in between add detail. creating a mini story within your sentence. Prepositions are words like in, on, at, over, under, by, and many more that show relationships between objects and actions. For example, on the table. This phrase tells us the location of something. Before sunrise. This phrase gives a sense of time. Think of prepositional phrases as little pointers. They tell us where or when something is happening. Why are prepositional phrases important? Prepositional phrases are crucial because they make language more specific and understandable. Instead of leaving the reader or listener guessing, prepositional phrases guide them. When you say, under the tree, for instance, it's much clearer than just saying nearby. It helps others imagine the exact location or time. Consider these two sentences. The book is placed carefully. The book is placed carefully on the top shelf. In the second sentence, on the top shelf gives a precise location, making the sentence clearer and more helpful. As the writer William Strunk Jr. said, vigorous writing is concise. Prepositional phrases help you express more meaning with fewer words, adding depth without making sentences too long. Structure of a prepositional phrase. A prepositional phrase generally includes preposition. This is the main word that shows the relationship, like in, on, at. Object of the preposition. This is the noun or pronoun that follows the preposition, giving it meaning. Modifiers, optional. Words that provide additional detail about the object. For example, beside the old oak tree. Preposition, beside object of the preposition, oak tree. Modifier, old together. These words form a phrase that describes a specific location. Examples of prepositional phrases in everyday English. Here are some common examples of prepositional phrases you might hear or use daily. At the grocery store, tells us where someone is. During the night, gives a sense of when something happened. With a gentle touch, explains how something was done. These phrases are small yet powerful tools to make sentences clearer and more detailed. Creating prepositional phrases together. Let's try building prepositional phrases from basic prepositions in the small, cozy room, over the bright blue ocean. Between the tall green trees. Adding detail to these prepositions turns them into vivid descriptions. You can experiment with different nouns and modifiers to create your prepositional phrases. To practice even more, check out my website, vestoryspeak.online, for helpful exercises and examples of prepositional phrases. Enhancing sentences with prepositional phrases. Let's look at two sentences and see how a prepositional phrase can make a sentence more informative. Simple sentence, she waited. With prepositional phrase, she waited patiently by the door. The phrase by the door adds context, telling us where she waited, making the image in our mind clearer. Using prepositional phrases can make your language more vivid and precise. As the philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein said, "The limits of my language mean the limits of my world." Prepositional phrases help us expand those limits by adding clarity and meaning, making communication richer and more detailed. Your turn to comment. Let's have some fun. In the comments, try creating a prepositional phrase of your own. Choose any preposition, like under, near, or after, and add a noun or pronoun to create your phrase. For example, near the sunny beach, or after a long day. Let's see what unique phrases you come up with. Chapter 7. Infinitive Phrases. Welcome to Chapter 7. Today, we're diving into infinitive phrases, a type of phrase that adds purpose and direction to your sentences. Infinitive phrases are formed around the simple to form of a verb, like to learn or to eat, and they are extremely useful for describing actions, goals, and intentions. Let's explore how infinitive phrases can bring clarity and purpose to your sentences. What is an infinitive phrase? An infinitive phrase is a group of words that begins with to, followed by the base form of a verb, like to read, to watch, or to learn. This phrase can also include additional words to make the meaning clearer. Infinitive phrases often answer the question of why or for what purpose something is done. For example, to become a better reader. Here, to become is the start of the infinitive phrase, which explains a goal or purpose. To learn English effectively. This phrase shows the intention of learning English with success in mind. Infinitive phrases are like little arrows pointing to goals and intentions, helping to explain reasons and aims. Why are infinitive phrases important? Infinitive phrases give a sense of purpose to your sentences. They help explain why someone is doing something or what they hope to achieve. Without infinitive phrases, sentences might feel incomplete or unclear, like there's no direction to the action. Consider these two sentences. She went to the library. She went to the library to study for her test. The second sentence, with the infinitive phrase to study for her test, provides a reason, making the sentence more informative and meaningful. Famous philosopher Aristotle once said, "Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom." Knowing how to use infinitive phrases helps you express your intentions and ideas clearly, a key part of communicating well. Structure of an infinitive phrase. An infinitive phrase usually contains the word to, the starting point of the phrase, the base form of a verb, the action, like to read or to improve. Additional words. These can include nouns, adjectives, or adverbs that give more detail. For example, to read more books in English. Infinitive, to read additional details. More books in English. Together, these words form an infinitive phrase that tells us the purpose of reading. Examples of infinitive phrases in everyday English. Here are some common examples of infinitive phrases you might encounter or use daily to practice speaking English fluently. This phrase explains the purpose of practicing: to travel around the world someday, an example of a long-term goal or dream. To make friends from different cultures, shows the reason behind making an effort. These phrases help clarify why someone is doing something, making communication more transparent and effective. Creating infinitive phrases together. Let's take some verbs and turn them into infinitive phrases by adding purpose. Learn. to learn new skills for the job. Save, to save money for college. Improve, to improve my English every day. Now think of a goal or purpose you have and use to with a verb to create your own infinitive phrase. If you want more guidance, visit my website thestoryspeak.online, where I have shared examples and practice exercises for creating effective infinitive phrases. Enhancing sentences with infinitive phrases. Let's see how an infinitive phrase adds clarity and purpose to a sentence. Simple sentence: she wakes up early. With infinitive phrase, she wakes up early to study in the quiet morning. The phrase "to study in the quiet morning" gives purpose to the action, helping us understand why she wakes up early. Adding purpose to language makes it more powerful. American author and philosopher Henry David Thoreau said, "Go confidently in the direction of your dreams." Infinitive phrases help us point confidently toward our goals, making our sentences more direct and meaningful. Now it's your turn. In the comments, share an infinitive phrase that describes a goal or purpose you have, whether big or small. For example, to become better at speaking English, or to read more books each month. Let's inspire each other by sharing our goals. Chapter 8. Gerund Phrases. Welcome to Chapter 8, our final chapter. Today we're exploring gerund phrases, a unique type of phrase that helps us talk about activities, hobbies, and ongoing actions. Gerund phrases are great for describing what people enjoy doing or tasks they focus on. Let's dive into the world of gerund phrases and discover how they can add variety and smoothness to your English. What is a gerund phrase? A gerund phrase begins with a gerund, which is a verb ending in ing that functions as a noun. In gerund phrases, the action word, gerund, becomes the main focus, often describing an activity or state. For example, swimming in the ocean. Here, swimming is the gerund, and the phrase describes an enjoyable activity. Reading English books. This gerund phrase talks about the activity of reading specifically in English. Gerund phrases let us turn actions into subjects or objects, allowing us to talk about activities like swimming, reading, learning, and much more. Why are gerund phrases important? Gerund phrases are useful because they let us describe activities smoothly and naturally. When you use a gerund phrase, you can easily explain your hobbies, goals, and routines. They also make sentences sound more interesting and connected, without needing many separate words or ideas. Consider these sentences. She enjoys exercise. She enjoys exercising at the park. In the second sentence, the gerund phrase exercising at the park provides more detail, making the sentence clearer and more engaging. As poet William Wordsworth said, "Fill your paper with the breathings of your heart." Gerund phrases allow us to share the things we care about and love doing, filling our language with heart and personality. Structure of a gerund phrase. A gerund phrase generally includes the gerund, the main action word ending in ing, like swimming, writing, cooking. Additional words, Words that describe or give context to the activity, such as objects, locations, or modifiers. For example, writing stories for fun, gerund. Writing additional details, stories for fun. The gerund phrase describes a favorite activity, making it the focus of the sentence. Examples of gerund phrases in everyday English. Here are some common examples of gerund phrases that you might use daily. Walking in the park every morning describes a routine. Learning new words in English shows an activity that helps improve English. Practicing pronunciation with friends explains how someone improves their speaking skills. Each of these gerund phrases turns an action into a subject, making sentences smoother and more descriptive. Creating gerund phrases together. Let's try creating some gerund phrases around daily activities. Here are some examples. Cooking. Cooking delicious meals for family. Reading. Reading interesting books on history. Learning. Learning English vocabulary each day. Try using your favorite activities to create your own gerund phrases. This is a great way to practice describing what you love doing. For more practice, check out thestoryspeak.online, where I have examples and exercises that can help you create clear and effective gerund phrases. Making sentences smoother with gerund phrases. Let's compare two sentences to see how a gerund phrase can add flow to a sentence. Simple sentence. He loves music. With gerund phrase, he loves listening to music every evening. The phrase, listening to music every evening, adds detail and gives us a sense of when and how he enjoys music. Expressing what we love doing makes our language more personal and lively. As the American writer Louisa May Alcott said, "Far away there in the sunshine are my highest aspirations." Gerund phrases allow us to express our aspirations and favorite activities, sharing a bit of our dreams with others. Now it's your turn. In the comments, try sharing a gerund phrase that describes something you enjoy doing. It could be playing games with friends or learning English online. Let's see how many unique activities we can share. Thank you for joining me on this journey through phrases. We've covered noun phrases, verb phrases, adjective phrases, adverb phrases, prepositional phrases, infinitive phrases, and now gerund phrases. Each type adds a different layer to your language, making your English more expressive and enjoyable. Remember, learning new phrases is a step toward mastering English. Keep practicing, and whenever you need more help, visit thestoryspeak.online for resources, videos, and exercises. I'm here to support you every step of the way. Happy learning, and let's keep building our English skills together.